It's hello, good evening. Sorry about last week, but we're back. We're back. And there seems to have been a conundrum that the drivers have been posing to themselves. Well, how do I get around this track without crashing? Well, it's Watkins Glen, sure. You can just get around it. Good evening, one and all. At Watkins Glen here, International, full layout for us today at just past 17:36 or 19:36 or 7:36 p.m. at night with a track temperature of 28 degrees Celsius or 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Again, myself at the box taking you through everything that you need to know about this track. Well, plenty of GT1s, a few GT2s have peppered themselves in. Always good to see the lads doing well for themselves. But, you know, it seems to me that with 2 races left to go, everybody has now decided, oh, now's the time to get our practice in before the HPD comes in. We need that HPD. Oh, but you all enjoy yourselves at home, and I am going to enjoy myself as we have, of course, the boys back. Felipe Paiva, Alain Saba, Jimmy Broadbent, Jarrett Lee, Ben Haysom, Nicholas Shayer, Reese Atkin, Louis Jordan Charles, Jonathan Smart, Jason Potter, Mark Johnson, Alex Cowie, Stefan Hazley, Yves Volt, Corey Heffron, Brian DeBella, Alex McCoy, Jeremy Story, Braden Valberg, Benjamin Cusson, Tyler Tedesco, and then obviously in GT2, my favorite driver, Seth Whitaker. You know, if you ever wanted to ask what his driving was like, 1-800-PROTEST, go straight to him, Cross. Javier, what is this vehicle? It's still got the wrong banner as well. I keep telling them to update that banner. Ethan Bass, Liam Loisel, and of course the rest just either in the pits or taking to their laps. Now, of course, Watkins Glen is quite technical in terms of its track layout. A lot of corners, a lot of straights, and a lot of, well, mentally preparing yourself for this track. At least from my own driving of it. I'm not the greatest driver in the world, but I try my best. 4 minutes currently remain. And I can tell you, a very, very stacked field. Currently, Nicholas Shayer leading the way. But this man, Felipe Paiva, not doing too badly for himself either. Let's have a look on board and go for a little lap around. Down. Keep it tidy. Swing it out. This is paved now, so don't need to deal with the grass, which is fantastic. You know, the last time I had to deal with that, cried myself to sleep. Up through past the bus stop, we don't take it here. In through the outer loop. I want to drive, hug, swing out, let the car drive itself, use as much of the runoff as possible into the chute. And we get to the boot section. On then towards the toe and heel. That's why it's called boot, due to the corner configuration names. Good lads. Then into the heel. Very sharp corner. Good overtaking spots usually are at the 90 and back straight on towards the outer. Because of the extra runoff that you'll have, you will definitely want to use the outer loop. Allows you to just slice it in. Then the three amigos, as me and Craig will call it, 1, 2, and into 3. Bang. Oh, that's the wall. Unfortunately, Paiva's not going to be able to set a lap. That's a 0x, unfortunately. But I can tell you, his lap time would have been deleted because he hit the wall. Potter coming through the third amigo. That's a loud camera. And across the line, still in a good shout, into 6th. Rhys Atkins done his laps, as has Kaloksky Jr., Kabur Kaloksky, Alex Cowie. Look at all the liveries that have come out to play. I'm loving this. In the GT2s, Ethan Bass currently leads the way ahead of Seth Whittaker. There we go. I got the name right. And I need to question this livery. I really do. I need to question why this livery exists. Why, Mascara? Like, why? Do you do this intentionally to flabbergast me, to make me cry? It's also still got the wrong banner. It still says the Huskenveld GT challenge on it. It's not even it's not the Fanatec anymore. It's not the Huskenveld. It's the Thrustmaster, or the GT Thrustmaster challenge. So get it right. God damn it. As you can see, the delta for the fast drivers of GT1 around the 130, a high 137.8s, and the fast guys obviously doing 142s in the GT2s. What does Crosley do? He's over the line. He sets a lap, sets himself into third position, 142, 382. Won't have enough time, however, to complete one more lap. As we said, quite a stacked GT1 field. Everybody coming out today to really mutton their chops, with Jared Lee leading the way with 137.675, with Felipe Paiva 137.756, Shire with a 137.828, Jordan Charles with a 137.828. Tied. Stumbling over my own words. Tied for third and fourth. Saba with a 137.927. Jason Potter with a 138.235. Johnson in seventh, then with a 138.299. Smart with a 138.457. Jimmy Broadbent with a 138.712 is good enough for ninth, with Stefan Hazley in a 138.954. Volt 139.118 with Haysom 139.287. Cowie with a 139.315. Cousin with a 139.432. McCoy in 139.611. Territory Heffron 139.613. Atkin with a 139.737. Kaloksky with a 140.11. We get down to the rest of those and we'll get into the GT2s. The GT2s start off with Ethan Bass with a 142.007. Seth Whittaker with a 142.044. Crosley 142.382 with Mascara sat with 142.721. Lossell is the last to qualify for the GT2s. As I said, into the night they'll go. They'll have the headlights. You can see them all there. They're all there. But the most important view is obviously this one. From the rear end of the pace car, looking backwards. Light sky seeming a little bit brighter with the amount of orange lights that are going on today. It still cracks me up how beautiful it looks. And we'll be taking you around for 30 minutes of today's race. Actually, it's not 30 minutes. I think it's prescribed today, actually. You know, I should have my notes up. It should have split it. No, it didn't. It was only 29 entries in total. Let me see. What was it today? 34 laps. Correction. So 34 laps around here. will give us a perspective 50-ish minute race, so a bit of a long one. 17 degrees, or sorry, 28 degrees on track with a 16-kilometer northeasterly or northwesterly wind, or partially cloudy, but doesn't really matter. The rain isn't even in the sim yet. So, bone dry tires all the way. And I'm guessing, and I am just guessing, that all of these drivers are going to be trying to smash it as best they can. It's going to be the endurance race of the season, for them at least. On board the pace car, as it looks to see what this man does. Felipe Paiva sat in the second position, ahead of the rest of the field, but behind Jarrett Lee. Jarrett putting in the work in his Fums Raceworks with an X. And just the noise. The amount of DBR9s that turned out for today. There's only a fair few Corvettes. The highest ranking Corvette is this one. 4th place, Jordan Charles. And I guarantee you he's going to be quaking in his boots, trying to figure out what on earth he just got himself into. Look at the train. Look at that train of cars. Don't forget GT2 exists. They're my boys, even though they drive death boxes. Literal killing machines. And I still... Mascara. I appreciate you put our logo on the back of your car, but you then took a lick of spray paint and you sprayed it all over the car and made me sad. But whatever floats your boat. As a current 7 Ford GTs, 22 GT1s. Majority of those being of DBR9 fame. My favorite car. So obviously I'm slightly a little bit biased. It's just a smidge. Just a smidge. Pace car will be backing them up. And the pace car will come off. Jarrett Lee has the controls at his muster. Pace car will come around the last corner and then dive off. Felipe Paiva will be on the inside, so he'll be looking to see if he can get a good launch. And Barney will wave the flag. Jarrett Lee jumps the start and sends them all into an absolute pariah. Coming into turn 1. Oh, a bit of a squeeze there, but they'll have plenty of run-up to be able to deal some damage. And we are underway for racing as the GT2s themselves start racing before even the final turn starts coming up onto him. But an accident! Jason Potter is off. Oh! That's damage. Yeah, that'll not buff out. Oh, crikey, we still have accidents going on in the background as everybody's trying to scrap for position. Goodness gracious. Whoever licked the stamp and sent it. My goodness, you did it in a fierce way. 34 laps, though. We'll be with you for every single one of those. Mark Johnson leading the second group now, just under 1 second behind as everybody starts finding their place. Is Jimmy there trying to send it in on the inside? That is going to be a move on the outside for Jimmy. Correction, as he sends it wide. Trying to battle against. That is going to be Vault. Side by side coming past into... Oh, a little bit of a slip there. First amigo into the second. Swing it around. Into the third. Now, how's Felipe Paiva doing up the top of the timing sheet? 4/10 of a second behind this man, Jarrett Lee, who did an absolute screamer on the first lap, but needed to. Felipe is an weapon when it comes to stuff like this. When you climb up the hill, it may seem daunting, but the slipstream will take you. 6th gear, 260, 270. and 280 kilometers an hour. Dies it in. Oh, needs to hold the inside line. You scrub off too much speed if you let the car swing out wide in the middle of the outer loop into the chute. I can guarantee I've planted it into the wall many, many times in my life going around here. Actually, I can do more than just guarantee you. I can double down on that one. On the inside, coming into the toe. Out onto the boot. He just needs to hold it. Be patient with it. Plenty of time to make a move as he sees fit. Move for 5th position. That's Jonathan Smart getting a little bit of a nose cut off by Nicholas Scheer. Scheer trying to run away with it. Broadbent running wide. Oh, still battling Vault. Vault is not giving up the ghost. Really wanting nothing apart from to keep this man of Doug Henson Racing behind. Keeps it nice and steady. Broadbent looking on the inside. Thinks better, Albus. Out through the 90. Oh, better line from Broadbent. Up through the hill. Slide to the left, into the right. Vault keeping it. Broadbent successfully behind though. Defensive. he's really trying to play defensive. He does not want any of the smoke. But look at this. The GT2s of the Ford GT fame practically stuck together hip to hip and sending it as fast they can on board with Seth Whitaker in his box as he sees up ahead. That is Ethan Bass going on the inside of Daniel Crosley. Crosley trying to tuck it in. You can just see how shaky that car is. It's actually jabbing at the road, just trying to tie it in. It's completely difficult in that car. I tried again trying to drive this car. Again. I failed miserably. Oh dear. Even offline, I was just like, yeah, let's just do a test drive. Let's get one lap in. Couldn't even do that. Kept making mistakes. But Seth, very able, and he is the one that broke the news, by the way, that the GT Thrustmaster Challenge will be getting the HPD. The HPD is coming back, a second lease in life for it, back where it belongs, in the Vales of Goodness. Through to the second Amigo, into the third, sweep it out wide, tuck it in. Perfect. Lovely exit there from all involved, but Seth, just the neatest lines possible. Looking on the inside, coming into the 90. Side by side now, you'll hear the call for right hand side. Clear as Seth just executes a masterclass move coming through. The battle for third heating up. Louis Jourdan Charles. Car number 13, but punching well above his weight and demonstrating why the car 13 is just a number to him, because he is driving fantastic in 4th position. You can just see the Cube Nissan. I was about to say the Nissan. It's got the same livery as one of the Nissans, I'm pretty sure. The GT3 GTR. But it looks great on this car, actually. Alain Sabat holding the cork of the bottle, as it were. Holding up Jordan. Jordan, I'm pretty sure, would like to actually go a bit faster. He just seems a bit more put together in this car, judging from the stepping out. He does make the move, though. That is going to cost him, though. Thinks better of it. In through the 90. Still has a call for right-hand side, does Alain. Up through the S's. Not a good place to be side by side, because it'll slow both of you down. Nicholas Scheer in the background will be licking his lips at this and saying, "Oh, must be a lucky day. I'm about to have a battle here for myself." You just see Still side-by-side battles. That is a very slippery, very, very slippery. I think that was Vault. It was Vault coming up through. Let's have a look at what happened here. Did he have a mistake? Side by side, he got. Oh! That is particularly lucky that no accident happened there. Jeepers creepers. Still side by side though. That's going to be Corey Heffron. Coming through. Felipe Paiva once again in the lead. We do have already 3 retirees. Jason Potter, Cusson and Story all retired, and Haysom is also now joined them. He towed to the pits with damage, so he's unfortunately going to be out of this race. Because realistically, once you get damage in this cards, or in these cars, it's very difficult to get back out there, even with the amount of time. That is going to be Vault, I think, due to severe damage that required his attention, or he's pulling the car in. But we'll get back to you on that one. Keegan Huey, the next car to be out. Let's have a look. No. Oh, well, there you go. That was what happens when you get snapped. You got plenty of snap oversteer. And off he went at a particularly nasty section of the toe. It was a toe. Looking at Ethan Bass. Up through the S's onto the back straight. Chasing down Seth Whitaker, who has maintained a good lead now. Secure the lead away from Ethan Bass on that last lap. That's a jump right there, by the way. Jump of the heart, because I'm pretty sure I was about to witness Seth, you know, go from hero to zero. This car particularly dangerous. Just kind of, you know, you just look at the track map and say anywhere on that track map it's particularly dangerous. And yeah, you would be pretty much correct. Currently on lap 7, 6 already completed. It's gone by super quickly already. Felipe Paiva up 3 S's, getting ever closer to Jarrett Lee. Jarrett and Felipe can just duke it out on their own. They have nobody else to interfere with them. The next car down is this man, Louis Charles, who is a good 3 seconds back. So they're able to just duke it out as best they can. That's Jarrett Lee losing the position to Felipe Paiva. The draft being ever so considerate on a very long back straight. Stefan Hazley can report has also lost the position to Jimmy Broadbent on through that back straight. So yeah, pretty good passing opportunity there if you can get enough speed coming through the S's. Keeping it here. Needs to be extra careful, Jarrett. Once Felipe is released, he just sets fast lap and fast lap and fast lap again. He's a monster behind the wheel. Heading back towards Seth. He's lost the position at the same place that a fair few drivers have this lap around. Going in towards the outer loop. Secure your surroundings. In through the toe. On towards the back straight of the boot. That's going to be Daniel Crossley. Very, very close. And really looking forward to trying to see if he can get maybe 1, maybe 2 positions. But sit behind, you know. Be patient. I think that's his goal at the moment. See what the others do. Now, at the current pace, I am looking to see. It is pretty good pace for the GT1s, so they could potentially begin to look at getting lapped. They probably will get lapped at least once, so we'll keep an eye out for that. But Crosley maintaining formation. 1, 2, 3, tied at the hip in GT2. GT1, it's tied for essentially third place. Jarrett Lee's not been able to catch up too much to Felipe Paiva. Louis Jordan Charles leading that group. Able to pass Alain. And Alain really wanting to get back ahead. DBR9 a little bit nicer in the corners as a default. And by the way, when I go away, when I send you away, oh! That is a little bit of a collision there. Seth Whitaker getting a little bit of damage there. That is a toasty crunch to the rear left of Seth Whitaker's car. A little bit of contact there between himself and Ethan Bass, but Ethan Bass coming out the worst for it, who is now stuck not just one position down, but two, having lost performance or having lost time due to being sent out wide on the outer loop. I don't think you would want that. Ethan, a very good competitor, and a very fast one at that too. So would look to see how he can bring back the performance, but game on. Coming through the third amigo. Onto the back straight, you can definitely see that the night sky has gotten very, very dark. So if you didn't have headlights at this point, or if your headlights got smashed, well, not really much you can see, especially on the back stretch. You'd probably see the white lines, and then the tarmac in front of you for about 5 feet, and then probably nothing else. And then, you know, you just have to guess on other people's headlights, essentially. Jarrett closing the distance, 0.6 of a second separating him and the man ahead of him, Felipe Paiva. Paiva very nicely wowed up, as is Jarrett Lee now, it should be said. He did put it in an absolute stunker of a lap for qualifying, but not much when it comes to race pace. Race pace has to be on point to secure even the tiniest bit of bag. Up through the S's now. You don't want to scrub off any speed at all if you can help it, but the slipstream is going to help Jarrett, and that is a lapped GT2 car, and I suspect that's Kyle. Criminy. I'm gonna murder his name, but here we go. Kyle Kuykendall. If I get it wrong. Yeah, my PO box is open. It is Kyle, and I strongly suspect he's screaming because he's got GT1s encroaching on him at a fair rapid pace. But he's a good lad. Kept it out of the way, but he'll have to keep it out of the way for these long because they're fighting maniacally. Alain not just losing one position, losing two. He just got ahead of Louis Jordan Charles, and look what happened to him. Just ejected, essentially, back into 5th position. Slightly starting to open the door for this man. Well, these three men: Mark Johnson, Jonathan Smart, and Jimmy Broadbent. Jimmy up into 8th, Jonathan Smart 7th, teammate of Felipe Paiva, probably in the weirdest green on green sandwich. You know, green eggs and ham. I like my green eggs and ham. My green eggs and thumbs. How about that? He's got thumbs at the back of his car. Lap 11. In through the 90. And out on through. Start another lap. One thing that you want to remember, by the way, when you do get up to the S's, make sure that you're not also having to deal with lap traffic. Because not only is that lap traffic under any regard, that's lap traffic of GT2 fame. That's 6th position, Javier Masquero. No, wait, that's still Kyle. Apologies, that was still Kyle. Keegan Huey has retired, so there's only 6 runners of GT2 class. But it's really upset the standing order of things, because he is quite slow, actually. Unless he just made a mistake. Let's have a look. He did. Yep, nice power slide. Kept it out of the wall. But obviously, not what we wanted to see. Especially for somebody who's still trying to essentially learn the track while he's racing on it. Pass for the lead. Coming up most definitely. This is Daniel Crossley. Hold off the throttle, but he just might have made a mistake. That's Ethan Bass charging forward. Has super amounts of overspeed. And look at this. Just effortlessly takes 2 positions back to back, and now Seth is in a 4th sandwich, even though he's a 4th. So it's like sticking three pieces of bread in together and saying, "Fight it out. I want to see which one's the nicest piece of bread." Who's worthy of winning this race? I'd say all of them are. Jonathan Smart passing Mark Johnston. A little bit of a tap there from Jimmy, who's holding formation tightly behind the car number 14. Car number 14 and the car number 16. Holding together. Jimmy. Oh, on the inside. Very, very sneakily passes. If he can do it. Couldn't hold it though, so holds back into formation. Jonathan Smart still in the green eggs and ham sandwich, and he found himself not just too long ago. But they're waiting for these 3 to start and continue fighting. Louis Jordan Charles doing his absolute best to try and run away, but Shayer just keeps catching him up. Well, if Nicholas didn't do that, that was a slide coming out of the first Amigo into the second. Very wide coming through the second into the third. Barney, you know, he just stands there like, yeah, this race, this is race. This is your brain. This is your brain on racing energy. Back into GT2 class. They've literally not separated themselves whatsoever. They've said, sod it. I will proceed to give you plenty of entertainment. And what a great race these 3 are having. Absolutely pushing pedal to the metal. Ethan breaking in. You have to get this car absolutely right. If you don't, what will happen is it'll say no, turn your car around, lock the rears, and you'll be in the back of the wall before you even say, oh my goodness. And you can go bowling. Oh, no, you can't anymore, and you can't even see it. Jimmy making the move there. Let's see what happened from the view of Mark Johnson. Oh, a bit too much. Cooked it. Saved the car, though, but a position down. He is outside the green eggs of ham. Nicholas Shayer still holding formation. We're now seeing just formations being held and just waiting for an opportunistic moment to strike. Louis Jordan Charles moving to the inside. He need not to. He's got enough of a gap that he wouldn't need to worry about that too much. Just needs to keep racing his line and just hope and pray that he doesn't get overtaken too much. Seth still stuck behind Ethan Bass. Ethan, I think, just is a smidge fast even with slipstream, but just needs a good run, especially coming onto the back straight, or maybe a good run here. This could also be an overtaking spot if you're brave enough into heel. Through they go. over the crest, into the heel. Dive it down, brake hard. You need to get down to about 100, 120 kilometers an hour. Out wide. Then around a very slow first amigo, as myself and Craig have christened it. Don't try and eat the grass. You want to carry as much speed as possible without scrubbing. Through the second amigo. Then you want to be very, very brave, you know. Want to make sure that you let it slide out, but not slide into the wall. Very tricky, I know, but, you know, a man can dream. Third gear. Through the 90, onto lap 14 for them. They haven't been lapped yet, but they are probably due to be lapped soon. That's the leader, Felipe Paiva, just coming through the 90, so they're not too far off. So I'm assuming it's going to be at least one lap, potentially two that these guys will be lapped by. So put in your diaries, put in your notes for your boss tomorrow. The GT2s did 32 laps. The GT1s did 34. You heard it here first. Jarrett just sniffing the slipstream now, but just you can see them, like the small mistakes really do pave the way for, you know, time lost, because that was 1/10 of a second that you know, Jarrett Lee lost due to that little slide. Now this is a brilliant pass. The green eggs and ham sandwich is officially really dead. Jimmy Broadbent overtaking the car of Jonathan Smart, and you can just see, well, what you can't see is a slipstream battle into the outer chute, or into the outer loop, correction. Nicely wrapped up. Nicholas Scheer still trying to close the distance. He's been doing this for the last 5 laps. I can feel it in his bones that he wants to take... Well, when you take on stuff like that, that is absolutely bananas. But he just definitely wants the position gained. Through he goes. Up through the S's again. Sweep. Sweep left. Then right. You want to scrub as little speed as possible off. Use the slipstream. Good run coming out of the S's for Nicholas Scheer. This could be the move that seals the deal for him. Does he have enough speed? He's got 5 kilometers an hour of a difference. Is it enough? I don't think it is. On the outside going into it, that will mean that Charles will have to compromise his line. He's now on the inside. He's held it in long enough. He needs to secure the move now before the tides switch. It's going to be much more difficult to do it through the toe. That's Nicholas Scheer still side by side with Louis Jordan Charles, and unfortunately he has to yield. Just isn't enough. Needs just an inkling more. Just an inkling more. Get an inkling better line. He'll have it. But a bloody good race so far. Seth Whitaker still holding the line. Holding formation behind. And I'm assuming he's going to be spending quite a lot of his race looking at that rear end and saying, I really wish I wasn't looking at that rear end, because I want to be in the lead. I mean, it'll be all of us, you know, at that point. It's like, I really want to be in the lead right now. I like the lead. I love the lead. Can I have the lead? Please, please, please. Good run coming out of the S's. Ethan Bass under pressure now. The slipstream doing its job, but not... Oh, he's holding off. Seth is holding off. Ethan Bass being played for a fiddle. Just to say, Mark Johnson and Alex Cowie have both come into the pits for, I think, tires and fuel. I think it's a mandatory fuel stop. They won't be able to go the distance, I don't think, now. But somebody in the live chat will be able to correct me on that one. If I am wrong, then I'll immediately say, well, I'm a cock, I am wrong. Shayer once again. Still trying. He hasn't stopped. But I suspect that he's just not able to get his sea legs going. You know, he's trying to shake and bake, but when you shake and bake just a little bit too small of a portion, all you're going to end up doing is annoying the mother, and then she's going to come around you with a wooden spoon. It's like, why did you make him bake such a small portion? Make him bake a large portion. And I think that's what he has to do. Make, shake and bake a very, very large portion. That's Daniel Crossley in the pits, which I thought was going to be for a broken headlight, but no, it's just a pit limiter. I do love how iRacing still says, yeah, it's definitely a two-light system, even though one of them is blinking on and off. Now just down to Seth and to Ethan Bass. They have cars coming up behind them. That is Felipe Paiva. They will be lapped this time round, so it's only the one lap that they'll be down. So I was incorrect when I said it's 32 laps for the GT2s. It'll be 33 for the GT2s, assuming at current pace and the fact that they'll have to take a pit stop into the inside. It's going to separate the two racers for now. Ethan Bass naturally sleeps on the outside, but they'll sew back together as Jarrett Lee, I think, might have slightly forced the issue against poor Seth Whitaker, who drifted out wide. And I don't know about you, but I cannot see anything else in the back right now. It is, I think it's officially night at this point. Up through into the first Amigo, into the second, then into the third. That's 1.5 seconds, the gap separating the two of them at the moment. Not what Jarrett wants. And what's worse is he's outside the slipstream range at this distance. Unless he can claw back through the S's, this could spell the end for him, and I don't think he would want that. Shayer as well, falling backwards. A rapid of knots, not able to make up the distance and falling back a little bit. I think Louis has found his groove and said, I don't need to defend right now, I just need to put in fast laps. That Corvette sounds lovely though, doesn't it? Stefan Hazley into the pits, coming in from, I think, 8th. Ethan Bass letting Seth Whitaker be upsetty spaghetti in the car because he is currently down under the deep blue sea of I am 1 second behind this man, but I need to catch him. Javier Mosquera 10 seconds back from him, but in third position. And Jason Potter has graced us again with his presence. Welcome back, Jason. Good on you for continuing to race, even though you had that lap 1 incident. Nicolas Shayer still driving. You can tell the cameras are really trying their best not to die, but the lead of the GT2s in the pits will swing it back though to the GT1s for now though. Nicolas Shayer being chased down by Alain Saba. Let's see who gets out here first now. This is important. Javier Mosquera is now in the lead. You need the engine of Ethan. That's Seth. Oh, that might just be all she wrote. Very similar pit stops, but Seth just 0.6 of a second slower in terms of pit stop. And look at this. Daniel Crossley ahead of all of them. He's undercut both of them. Goodness gracious. He is probably beside himself right now. Tyler Tedesco into the pits himself for a mandatory pit stop. Well past the halfway point now, in lap 20 on the cards. Coming up to lap 21 here shortly. Nicholas Scheer is still chasing, but has closed the gap. I imagine from the viewpoint of Louis Charles, you can see the rear lights and think to himself, he's come back closer again. Oh dear me. And is into the pits anyway, so that is essentially all she wrote for the battle for now. He'll undercut his two main competitors of Nicholas Scheer and Alain Sabat. That brings both of them into third and fourth respectively. Jimmy Broadbent up into fifth, having to fend off Jonathan Smart, who hasn't let go of the ghost as of yet. Ethan Bass chasing down Daniel Crossley for what will be the lead of the race once Javier Mascara takes to the pits. Thankfully, I don't have to see the livery, you know, when it's driving. I still have to see this, though, in all of its glory. Louis Jordan Charles back out on the track. Will have clear road ahead of him. And this is that view. Just has to deal with lap traffic. That's the car in fourth position, Seth Whitaker, who will probably be very happy that a tow is being given to him, just so that he can close the distance. Side-by-side battles. Daniel Crossley versus Ethan Bass through the chute. The outer loop into the chute now. On through into the toe. Corvette's going to get by now, just on Ron Grunt alone. He's got the speed. There you go. Corvette's gone by. Crossley still ahead, but Seth has now gained 2/10 due to the traffic giveth and traffic takingeth away policy. And if you think that this is scary, try driving without Danny Dials. It's scary. I can safely say that much. Nothing in the rearview mirrors for him to look at, and all he can see ahead of him is the rear end of Ethan Bass, who has just closed towards him. 1.2 seconds separating the lot of them. Up through the yeses. Lap 20 for the GT2s. Lap 21 for the GT2s. 22 for the GT1s. 12 laps to go. Nicholas Scheer there. Maybe leaving it a bit too late to let everybody know that he was going into the pits. Through nicely. Now he's got the track all to himself. I'm hoping that Alain will put that to good use. His main target will be to be ahead of them all. Louis Jordan Charles out in force Nicholas Shayer is his main target right now. The next four still have to pit, so I am under the assumption that Jordan Charles probably is going to end up at around 4th aggregate, given the current set of standings. But it's a it's anybody's guess right about now as to what will happen. Ethan Bass, Daniel Crossley fighting for the lead coming through. I think that is the outer loop. It is indeed. And Ethan Bass securing it nicely. But the gang is back together. The most important thing being the gang back together. Seth has finally caught up. He is within slipstream range. And more importantly, if these two get fighting, he is in the I'll take that nicely, thank you very much range. So all up in the air. Jarrett Lee into his box, as is Felipe Paiva into his box. Now this is the one I want to watch. Who will come out first? Will it be Jarrett Lee? It will. Jarrett Lee once again. Oh. Damn it. Okay, well, I got my math wrong. That's why you don't trust me with math. Come on through. Jarrett, you can do this, my boy. Only 1.5 seconds. Just put in a good few laps, and you'll be right on the trumpet end of Felipe Paiva. Nicholas Shayer, I think, has done a masterclass of execution now that he's back out of the pits. Alain Saba and him and Louis Jordan Charles are back for scrap part 2. They've been fighting all race, as have the leaders in the GT2. So there's been plenty of battles where they've just been tied to the hip. Jonathan Smart, by the way, cut 2 seconds, overcut Jimmy Broadbent by 2 seconds with a 2 seconds shorter stop. But has that paid off? Well, it'll only pay off if he keeps him behind. I think Jimmy will have an answer for that. And yes, he does. Coming on the inside of the heel. Does he break enough? Oh, a little bit of a tap. No, that's all gone wrong. It's all gone wrong for Jimmy. A little bit of a tap there from the rear. See on board with Jonathan Smart. Good view from here. Slow it down by a half and then a quarter. Oh, a little bit of it drifting out. And then the hook gets incinerated into the back rear left of Jimmy Broadbent. Unfortunately, a racing incident, but very, very close indeed. Jimmy down into 7th. Javier Mascara into the box. Why did they give this view? Goodness gracious. Stefan Hazley has stopped on the track. That is through the first Amigo. He had that accident. What happened here? Passing another Martini. And just lost it on his own. Just got a bit spooked, I think. But he was having such a good race, and then that accident just upset his car, I think. Through the first Amigo into the second. We're going bowling, cousin. Nico, it's your cousin Roman. Let's go bowling. So you should go bowling. Call your nan. Tell her to go bowling. Should probably call my mother after this and tell her I want to go bowling. Through onto the straight goes the two intertwined classes at the moment. That's Ethan Bass leading the way. Daniel Crossley in second, with Seth Whitaker in third position as of right now. You know, it's not the most optimal thing when the internet decides that that was the time for it to die. But let's get it straight. It's still great racing out here. Come on, everybody. We got great racing to look back towards. Current status as of right now is, with 6 laps to go, Nicholas Shayer still leads the way in trying to get into third position. Louis Jordan Charles doing a good overtake as of right now. On the outside, Louis Jordan just needs to hold him off. Good lad. Perfect defense coming through. On the story of the GT2s, for those that missed it, currently sat Daniel Crossley is, well, as you can see, still trying to get back to it, but nothing really doing for him right now, just having to hold formation. Behind Ethan Bass, who really is quite a very skilled driver. I mean, especially if you're trying to drive this landship. Elsewhere, battle for this is going to be for 11th position. That is Alex Cowie trying to battle Gabor Kalowski. Lapped car there. I think that was Jason Potter letting everybody by. Good lad. But still game on. 5 laps to go. still holding formation. Everybody in P's in a pod as of right now. Crossley, as a reminder, did come out ahead of Ethan Bass from the pits, but Ethan Bass just said, nope, I'll take it back. You can get second. You can fight for scraps with Seth Whitaker in third position. But first, how dare you, sir? Jarrett Lee in second has really lost the slipstream to Felipe Paiva as of right now. It is looking little likely that Felipe will have secured the bag, and the bag he will secure. A lonely race for him out in front, as he's got nothing ahead of him for I think the next 30 seconds on track. Just a very smooth drive from him. It's like he was born to drive this car. She does it. This is Nicholas Scheer. About 18 seconds back in total. Chasing down the Polyphony Digital and Corvette. Up through toe. Onto the toe's back straight. Again, Louis is defending where he need not. Losing, thousands of time are worth, half a second a second in places of 30, 35 laps. So it is laps that he's leaving on the table. An image from the GT Thrustmaster Challenge Discord. If you kill Javier Mascara, I'll subscribe. Kappa. Of course, you have to include the Kappa. Is this Javier Mascara? He's not dead. Still racing his own race, and the man that message was sent to is this man, Jimmy Broadbent. In his default livery, it says Cheetos. Goodness gracious. Let's get that pep off there. Through the back straight, into the toe. And goes Felipe Paiva. Nicholas Scheer still stuck, having to lap Ethan Bass around the outside. That's a bit difficult. That was not Ethan Bass, that was somebody else. That was, I think, Kyle. Sorry, the liveries looked really similar, so forgive me for that. Up through now, back straight. Charging at close to 180 miles an hour. Seth, looking his ever strong presence, looks to the inside. Probably is now time to hammer it down. 5 minutes in the race left to go. Speculative. 3 laps itself left to go. Still keeping out the cameras on Nicholas Scheer. 2 laps to go. Defensive move. This time it was needed from Jordan Charles. But still, just no dice for Scheer. Scheer's been trying this, I think this is like his 8th attempt now. Still no dice. Up through, back stretch. If I could stop trying to cough. Jesus. Nicholas Shea. We'll skip the cameras elsewhere. This is important. Seth has finally shifted the shift. He has shifted into second. Probably as late as you could leave it. But importantly, he still has 2 laps to do something with it. Nicholas Shea. Come on, man. You have it. Around the outside. Hold it. Hold it. No. Come on, Nicholas. You can do it. Seth, though, up into second. We'll probably look towards maybe a good finish, but what that good finish will be a toss-up into the air. Ethan Bass making a mistake, sliding in through the chute. Final lap for this man, though. Felipe Paiva. What a drive he's been doing. Today was just an execution of masterclass for him. Did particularly well and just sealed the deal for him. Really did very well today, as he always does when he races this series. You know, he's got essentially the top Mendoza rating, 5,300. But you can see it's not just for one make of car. He's able to cleverly drive himself, keep himself motivated in the bucket seat, and press on up through the gears now. Not many corners to go. Jarrett Lee, what could have been for him, but a great drive nonetheless. Just scoring above his weight today, though, is Louis Jordan Charles. Car number 13 in third. I'd say he'd be very pleased and should be very pleased about that. Proud of himself for doing such a good job. The boys really did put on a great show today. Great amount of driving. Felipe Paiva, though, we have to take our hats off and bow towards him like any gentleman would. A masterclass, and he's flashing his lights. He knows. Look at him. P1 Watkins Glen. Fantastic. Louis Jordan Charles, of course, you know, to you know, with a joy of joys, look at the wobble. I've got the stomp. I've got a lump in my throat. Jimmy Rodbent taking it home 7th. Jonathan Smart just got the smarts and finished 6th. Mark Johnson in 7th. Though we do have to take it to this man. He only has a few more corners left to deal with. He can afford now to think about it. Coming through the first Amigo. Into the second. Into the third. Ethan Bass wins for the boys, and Seth obviously very happy with that result, sweeping it away into second position with commiserations, of course, going to Crossley, Daniel Crossley. What a great drive from him as well. Don't be too perturbed by the fact he didn't get it. But at the very least, all of you did a very good show today, and well, I'm happy. I'm very happy about this. We should go through the results if I can get to them. There we go. Felipe Paiva of course, winning it for the GT1 Toys. Jarly in second, 4 seconds down the road. Jordan Charles in third, 19 seconds down the world. Shayer, 20 seconds down the road. Saba, 20 seconds down the road as well, with Jonathan Smart finishing in 6th, 29 seconds down the road. Jimmy Broadbent, 31 seconds down the road, finishing home in 7th. Johnson in 8th. Heffron in 9th. Cowie in 10th. Kalowski in 11th. Stefan Hazley in 12th. Tedesco in 13th. And that was those that finished on the lead lap. Ethan Bass winning it for the GT2s and coming home in first. Second place, Seth Whitaker. Third place is Daniel Crossley. Loisel in 4th. Mosquera in 5th. And Kuykendall 3 laps down, but still coming home line in 6th. McCoy was 14th, and we get to some of the retirees. McCoy, I think, was the last one across the line, but the rest of these, unfortunately, DNFs or couldn't finish the race. 28 laps down for Volt. We saw what happened to Haysom. We saw what happened to him. Huey had an accident. DeBella, Cusson, and Story, of course. We saw the accident that put paid to them, unfortunately, for today's race. But that is going to be all she wrote for the Blinky Boys. As you can see, it is completely nighttime, so we have no pictures. Couldn't even show it to you if we tried. But everybody, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much for being patient. Unfortunately, we had technical issues today. If you like what you see, click the like and subscribe button so you don't miss a moment on Raidillon TV. Of course, so next week we will be back for more shenanigans when the Sunoco signing us off. I have been Robert O'Brien. This has been Raidillon TV, the only corner you need. Good evening, one and all.